What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is here. Little bit of football talk for you today. Got a few topics that are on my mind. We're going to talk some Leeds United, the new report about Kalvin Phillips that he's been linked with Manchester United today, and just a few other topics that are just on my brainwave that I want to get out and see what other people are thinking and get your feedback from what I'm saying as well. So, yeah, as you're coming in, smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And yeah, man, we're gonna get into some stuff. I want to get some Leeds United fans' thoughts about a few days later after the game against West Ham, and just see if your perspective is any different now compared to then. Are you worried about Leeds United? All of that. We're gonna get into all of that. Of course, if you're not watching the live stream, and you're watching the replay, drop your thoughts in the comments box, and yeah, we'll go through it. In the title of the video, I've got Harry Kane distraction. Because, listen, I've been watching Tottenham as I'm sure many other people have, and I replied to Tobes, Tapping Tobes, who everyone that knows Tottenham probably knows who Tapping Tobes is, and he answered. He didn't answer the question that I was actually posing, because he left. It's a very famous story now. Tobes left at 44 minutes after the Arsenal Tottenham game. In a taxi, he's all mad and he's all hot. Everyone's going at him. And I just said to him, I replied to one of his messages, his tweets. And I said, Harry Kane, people need to start talking about this guy being a distraction, being a bad influence around the camp. And I don't think he fully got what I meant, because his head was hot. But what I meant by it was, because I've seen a lot of takes. I've seen a lot of takes where some media are saying, yeah, he's been distracted. He should have let him go, etc. And I've seen other players just stick up for the guy and say he's not being distracted. It's Spurs on a whole, which is partly true. But I want to talk about Harry Kane in general here, because the commentator, I was watching the Arsenal Spurs game, and that old commentator, I don't know his name, don't care, but he made it clear as well. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, he said Harry Kane wouldn't be professional, wouldn't let off the field thing distract him on the pitch. It's like that kind of sentence isn't afforded to everybody. Harry Kane is a media darling, no surprise. He's a top goal scorer, world-class striker, and England's #1 forward. But not everybody gets that kind of treatment. You see other players, when they're linked with a move away or their agent talks for them, the story is so much different. Oh, this guy is a distraction for the team. His agent's talking too much. You can see that it's affecting his football. But apparently Harry Kane is just, he's all right. But listen, for me, I'm gonna give it to you from how I see it with Harry Kane. This is me as an outsider looking in. Yeah, Harry Kane, whether it was right or wrong, had a gentleman's agreement to go. He didn't get to go. So now what's happened is, think of it in an office job terms. Yeah, you got your office job. You're on a team that's all right, but you've been signed for promotion in 2 weeks' time, and you cannot wait to go. You're like, yes, there's more money there. There's more prospects there. I can't wait to go to my next job. It's going to be so good. I can't wait. Then all of a sudden, your current manager says, well, actually, you're not going anywhere. You're staying here for at least another year. What? So now the human side says to you, you're going to still turn up for your job because you need to get paid, but your heart's not going to be in it no more. You're just going to go through the motions. Now, what I see with Harry Kane, I'm just reading his body language, yeah, is a man that's going through the motions. When Tottenham gets scored against, there's nothing. And I'm not saying he needs to go down on his knees and slap the ground and look like he's crying, all of that. No, nothing like that. But I mean, there's literally nothing when Tottenham gets scored on. Like, he's not doing anything, no huffing, no looking up to the heavens like, oh. He just turns around back to the center circle and says, okay. Because I think he knows. He's like, I shouldn't be here. In his head, he's thinking, I should not be here. And in turn, his teammates are also thinking that as well. When you look at how they were playing without him, they were all playing for each other. They look quicker. On that game against Arsenal, they looked like a bunch of slugs out there. They looked like they were running in treacle. And it's just, listen, you can only control so much as a human, and maybe it will pick up for him in the games going forward where he realizes, look, I'm not doing myself any favors here. I need to start scoring. I need to play better. Otherwise, I might just be stuck here because Tottenham will still want a premium amount of money for the talent that he has. Yeah, Tottenham will still want a premium amount of money, but if he's not performing, if he's not scoring, then the buying club are going to be saying, well, we don't think he's worth that much. What has he done lately? It's all about what you've done lately. And it's completely messed up for everybody involved. It's completely messed up for everyone involved. When he was given one more year under Jose Mourinho, who's a proven winner, he was probably thinking, yeah, I'll give it a go. But listen, and that's another thing. That what I'm saying is Harry Kane isn't the only problem, but he is a big problem because you've also got players there that will know that he doesn't want to be there. He thinks he's above them. He thinks that he needs to leave this club because he's playing with people that aren't good enough. So there's an effect all around, and you can tell it. You can just see it on the pitch when he's on there. You can just see the the uncomfortable nature of all the players when they're on the pitch. Right now, when he's playing, they're playing with a guy that don't want to be there. So, yeah, I mean, and then also, I mean, Tottenham have got more problems than that. Nuno Espirito, it's Nuno Espirito Santos is a worse version than Mourinho, and Tobes and a few others didn't want Mourinho there. It's always be careful what you wish for, man, because for me, Mourinho was never the problem. It was the players they had, and I think that's telling again. The players they have aren't good enough. Even Harry Kane came out when Mourinho was sacked and said something, I'm paraphrasing again, that sorry that we couldn't get the job done for you. And that's basically saying, listen, I was on board. I was doing everything. I was assisting. I was scoring. I was doing all of that. Son was doing all of that. But not everybody can do that. So, yeah, I mean, if people in the chat here, oh, these guys, sorry, spam. We're going to sort that out in just a minute. Let's have a look, just see what people are saying. Big up to everyone in the comments already. Luke Thomas, it's funny how Gary Neville has every excuse in the world for Kane, but certain other players, it's their work and effort and things like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Listen, you've never seen Harry Kane do something like he did for, I believe it was Arsenal's second goal, where it wasn't even a miss. The ball wasn't even like something that he should have miscontrolled. He's falling over, he runs back and then falls over again. And they scored. Maybe it was their third goal. Saka's goal. It was crazy. Like, you'd never seen that. But that's because his heart's not in it. Like I say, it could change. You're hearing all the excuses, and Luke Thomas mentioned it there. People keep saying that he doesn't score in August. Well, I'm sorry, but we're in September, close to October now. That whole August thing doesn't count on this thing. That's a lame excuse as well. Harry Kane is better than he's showing. But things like that do affect you. It's just like anybody when you're expecting to leave a job, leave for somewhere that you feel is better. If you don't get that move, you will phone in your performances. Just because you're the same person that's got the same talent level, it doesn't mean you're going to give the same effort. And that's what I'm seeing there. Michael Brown, afternoon. Yeah, afternoon stream here, people. Ahead of the Champions League games tonight, so I didn't want to do nothing later today. Want to watch that PSG versus Man City game, like I'm sure many of us do. So, yeah, I thought I'd give you an afternoon stream here in the UK, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Ciao from Milan, Richard. Paul, Homeboy, afternoon KG, first Leeds chats in Saturday for me. Keep the faith. Yeah, we'll talk about Leeds in a bit. Yeah, Robert, the spam butts, they're back, man. John H, to be fair, Levy never said he couldn't go. They just wouldn't sell for lower than they wanted. Personally, they should have taken 120 and started the rebuild. Yeah, because the thing is, there comes a point where when it's obvious the player wants to go, there's no point keeping them. And I've said that. I'm so consistent with that message in any sport. You don't want to keep an unhappy player because it seeps through the whole squad. It does. Whether people want to believe it or not, they think it's just an isolated thing and he can just go out and do what he usually does. No, he's made his messages very, very clear as well. And if they had to take 120, and a player, if that player that was willing to go from Man City to Tottenham, I think that would have been a good deal in the end. You have to find a solution in the end. And right now, this one has been the worst one, because what do they do now? Do they sell him in January? That's even worse, because then people in January will know how much money they've got, and they'll say, well, we've seen what you sold Kane for. We need such and such for this player. It would be mad. Ezra, I feel sorry for him, but the way media treat him compared to others is not it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's been a few people that have called him out and said that his head is gone, but generally, you would think that this guy walks on water, like, and that's the thing that's bugging me, because I've seen players being treated way worse when they literally haven't said a word about leaving a club or nothing like that. But because the media says so and everything else, it builds momentum. And then all of a sudden, this player is being called a problem and this and that. But this guy they're acting like he's a prisoner at war here. You know, it's crazy with some of the comments I've heard. Jason is saying, could Tottenham have handled Kane in a way that might have kept him interested in staying? I think they already did that last year. I genuinely believe they did that last year with getting Jose Mourinho in and saying we're going to go for it this year with this winning manager. I think that's what they did. I don't think you can come back from that now. The guy's going to be 29 next year. Haaland's going to be available. Mbappe's probably going to Madrid, but there's going to be other players available, and he knows that this was his window to probably leave. So I don't think so. Harmony in the house. It's not his head that's gone. It's his heart. Yeah, he don't want to be there. He don't want to be there. So just look through some more of the comments. Yeah, listen, this is something we bring up. Many of us YouTubers bring it up. What a sad life you must have sitting there spamming and switching accounts. Yeah, listen, these people they just don't have that real life interaction. So this is how they get it. So listen, I'm not one to judge. You know what I mean? On an FPL tip, Russell here. Love FPL talk. Wait there, Harry Kane doing bad is good for fantasy football, and driving his price down might sign him soon. Yeah, get him while you buy. What is it? You buy low, sell high, all that. Yeah. Lee Smith, true KG. Once a player wants to leave, you got to get rid. Yeah, you do. So yeah, disabled team. We're going to talk about that in a bit. Worried about the news, man. You're looking at Kalvin Phillips. Jesus. Right. Okay, just hold on a second. I'm going to just change something on the video. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. Okay, and Jordan Dix, keeping a player that doesn't want to be in the club, it creates problem in the dressing room. Yeah, clearly it does. So yeah, I mean, and that's what I just wanted to say about Harry Kane. I wanted to get my point across because I'm just sick of all of that, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Honestly. Right, just before I get to the next topic, let me just do something here, people. Hold on. Okay, people, listen. Right, I think I may have sorted this problem out. Right, Leeds fans in the chat, yeah. Yeah, I know. I realized I was muted. Don't worry about it, Selena. I got you. Are you concerned about the club still? Anyone that was concerned from Saturday's result and the 6 league results we've had so far, are you concerned? Personally, for me, I'm still in a good headspace as long as we do something against Watford this week. I think 3 points, anything less than 3 points, is a bit of a. It will start to drift into concern for me, just purely because when you're talking home games against Watford at home, you've got to win. You've got to win. So yeah, right now I'm not concerned, but I do understand why people are starting to get there. And I don't know if it's creeping across the fan base because again, I talked about Rads on Saturday about the reply about Adam Forshaw. He did another one, and I think he did it while I was live as well. Um, and I just don't think it's helping. Let me just get the message. I think somebody, I'm paraphrasing the tweet. He said that Forshaw not available again. He's stealing a wage, something like that. Yeah. Rajazani replies, "How long do you want to go on? I will defend my players when they wear their Leeds United jerseys are the best. Nothing else to add. Hope you now can all give me a break and support the lads today as loudly and strongly. Come on, Leeds." Okay, so he did that earlier in the day, right? But the thing is that the messages are not going across very well. And you don't want the divide to start happening with the owner and fans. I think Rads means very well. I do. But like I said on Saturday, he's just putting more pressure on Forshaw, which Forshaw doesn't need. And it's also just making like fans feel, well, I thought we could communicate with this guy and he's just going to keep on digging us out. But I do understand why he's getting defensive, but it's just that thing now, isn't it? Like we're not doing very well on the pitch. We don't want to start faltering off it. And having communications like that with our chairman isn't going to be helpful. So hopefully now that will be the last one from Rads in regards to this. Um, you just don't want to look like you're crumbling on and off the pitch. I don't think we're crumbling, but winless in six is not smooth or good. And I do want to just pick up on a thing because I said I thought Firpo played okay on Saturday, but when you looked it back at it wasn't all that great, and with the own goal probably shouldn't have happened if he stayed at his left back post, but this is what man-to-man marking is. You follow your man and go with him. And he just pulled him away and he's there where he shouldn't be really. Um, yeah. It's yeah, and Russell here. I don't like if you say you're not happy with how things are going with Leeds, you get told you're negative or not a real fan. How about just seeing what's in front of you? Yeah, and this is it. You're seeing all kinds of things as well being said. We should have signed this player, this and that. Well, listen, the window's over, so we can't sign anybody now. So there's no point going over this again and again. We can't sign nobody now. So let's deal with what we've got until at least January and see where we go from there. But yeah, if you haven't won a game in six, I don't blame you for feeling a little bit apprehensive about future games because we've gone into some games thinking that we should have had a better chance than not of winning those, and we've come away with no victories. So I do get it. Um, Mark Walker says, look at the table after 10 games played. If after Christmas we're still there, then start to worry. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, Bobby, not a good sign when your owner is getting involved in Twitter beef. Yeah, it's just unnecessary right now. But I think it's just I think that's the feeling amongst the fan base in general. Just like, when is this first league win going to come from? So I think it's just creeped in all over the place, and people are just like transmitting it in different ways. Me, I'm very calm about it. Other people are very angry about it. People are like, the cheerleaders, like, nothing's wrong. Hey, 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 support the team, rah, rah, rah. It's all dependent on how you look at it for me. Yeah, yeah. Listen, Jason makes a good point. Fitness is the biggest worry because, like I said on Saturday, it feels like we're doing Ndombele minutes, man. We're all just playing. We're playing well up until the 60th kind of minute, then we're just tailing off. So yeah, yeah, yeah. It's. I'm just going through some of your comments. Yeah, Jason. Yeah, found. Of course, we're bound to get frustrated. No wins in six. How can you not be frustrated? All right. Gordon White says, afternoon, KG. Just to put some perspective on our position, after playing these same teams last season, we are only 4 points adrift. Yeah, but Gordon, it's about the performances in general. And against West Ham, it was a lot better in the first half, but the performances haven't matched what we saw last season. And even in games where it was kind of running away from us, we were still putting in really good performances. Like you could see, well, we got no worries with these guys. I think they can probably nick a goal here and there. Right now, we're not seeing that. We're not seeing that on the whole. And that's why this game against Watford is so key. And also, it comes just before international break. I don't even want to know what the socials will be like if we go into the international break 7 games without a win. I think it will be absolutely, you might as well just stay offline. I think it will be a nightmare. So, and just speaking with other people privately, they're concerned about how performances are, how we're relying on Rafinha and Melier being a big bailout. And I looked again at Melier's performance, and he was even better than I originally thought. It's like the kid is just keeping us in games that we've got no right to being kept in. And it is a worry. It is a worry. But like I say, on the whole, people, a few days off from that West Ham game, I'm still in the positive mode. I'm still thinking that we'll beat Watford this weekend. And that will get our season up and running. And Robert Hall makes a good point. Aging squad, and they've been doing the same high amount of work for a few seasons. It's the older players in the squad that aren't holding up the same levels of performance. Yeah, I cannot disagree with that, and it's true. You think about the regimes that these guys have to go through. We're talking like Liam Cooper, who hasn't even had his customary injury yet, so that's bound to happen at some point this season. Stuart Dallas, who may or may not have off the field problems, I don't know. Luke Ayling, who's currently hurt. Matthias Click, who did tail off last year and who was also injured for that as well. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. But yeah, Jason Pascal Struijk will be back, which is a big plus. And for me, you know what? I'm not afraid to say it. I did joke about it on the match reaction stream, but I would not be afraid to put in Struijk next to Creswell. What are you guys saying to that? I would not be opposed to see Struijk line up next to Creswell against Watford. No, we're not talking, Man City or Man United or anything like that. We're talking Watford. So would that be a good game to see what our future looks like? Because for me, they're not just the future; they look like the now. Like I said, I can't give any more props to Creswell than I already have. But for me, him playing the way he plays and Pascal being the way he is on the ball and his physicality, I think it would be a nice combination in our current state. So yeah, I would do it. Solanum, is it true that Dallas is struggling with long COVID? I don't know, but it very well could be. Just as an example, there was an ice hockey player last year who had COVID, and for the next 20 to 30 games, he was hardly scoring, assisting, shooting, anything, because he had effects of long-term COVID. So it very well could be. I cannot judge about how someone recovers from COVID because I had it and it knocked me out. Like one day I couldn't even move. So I cannot say how it would affect anyone else. Stephen Brown, Cresswell and Struijk. Oh yes, power, height, skill, perfect. That's what I'm saying, Stephen. You got it. You've got it. That's what I'm looking at. And they're both very comfortable on the ball, which you can't say for everybody else involved. I just like the pairing of it. Maybe it's me looking at it just too basically, and I'm not afraid to say that. But I just think that combination might be all right. So Bobby, when's Rad's dropping? When's Rad's dropping a diss track? No idea. Oh my days. Yeah, John H. ASM had long COVID last season. No joke. It really isn't. It really isn't, guys. Really isn't. Yeah, Gordon, that's another good point you bring up as well. I do understand we're all concerned. When we used to take the lead, we virtually never lost. Gabby will be loving our Gabby Abanlaho, of course, yeah. But no, the first point is correct. Like when we take leads, we're usually good to keep them. But even against West Ham when we took the lead, um, I wasn't thinking that the game was done, and it was right, and you're right too, because West Ham are a quality team. But maybe last year I would have been thinking, yeah, let's go on now, 1, 2, 3. But we're just not getting that right now. Harmony in the house, love drama. Would want to see him get some minutes soon. Yeah. I mean, well, we'll see what he can do. I mean, we've got a League Cup game against Arsenal. I don't know if that's going to be a good time to throw him in. I'm not sure if I would put in 3 of the young guys. I'm not sure about that. I think Shackleton would. Shackleton's still young, isn't he? But you know what I mean. Under 23s, I'd probably go with Strike, Creswell, Shackleton. If Ayling's still out, but even then, I'd probably still put Shackleton in as he gives us a little bit more going forward. Russell, no. Russell saying, I keep having this horrible nightmare that we get relegated and Bielsa leaves and we are left with Cooper, Ayling, Bamford, and Dallas in the Championship. No, we're not getting relegated, people. We're not getting relegated. And disabled team make a good point. I don't see Bielsa dropping Cooper. Yeah, me either. Rightly or wrongly, you're right. Selena, I'm not putting that on screen. I'm not putting that on, but that is funny. That's funny. Stephen Brown, Shackleton has to keep his place. Yeah, I would say so. PSF, Criswell and Stroik make sense, but I'm seriously worried about Bielsa and his team selection. He has put faith in a bunch of 30-year-olds who are simply not good enough. Well, yeah, but I mean, Tyler Roberts isn't 30, and he still gets minutes. And you know what? What I'd say about that as well, I keep on seeing this thing about Tyler Roberts. He's only 22. What has that got to do with anything? Seriously, if we bought, say, an 18-year-old from Cheltenham Town, yeah, just because he's 18 and just keep playing him, and what we say, just keep playing him because he's 18. He's only 18. Like, I just don't get some of that kind of thinking. Like, he could go somewhere else and be better. No one's saying he can't. But how long do we give him here? I don't know. So for me, age isn't really anything to do, because I've seen Creswell come in at 19 and look more assured than a lot of senior centre backs. Age has got nothing to do with it. If you're good enough, you're old enough. So yeah, Harmony. It's a decent point. Everyone thought Leeds playing in front of fans would benefit the players, and it goes back to a point what I was speaking about with Bradley Johnson on a previous stream, where Bradley even said there's some players that actually love that the fact there's no fans. Like obviously the company line is, we miss the fans, we can't wait to have you back. But there's a lot of players that really did enjoy the fact that there was no fans there. There's no pressure. There's no sign when a pass gets misplaced or you get tackled when you're trying to dribble. There's just a lack of pressure on the players, and maybe that isn't suiting some of the players that we have. Who knows? Yeah, Lee Smith. Tyler's had 3 seasons now to prove himself. Can't say he hasn't had a chance, and that's for me. That's why I was talking about Gelhardt coming in instead of Roberts for that game, coming on a sub. Just give him a go. Like, we're not getting nothing from Roberts. Let's see what we can get from Gelhardt. At least we know we'll get someone who can hit a ball accurately on goal, which we're not really getting a lot apart from Rafinha, that our one-man savior. No one else is really is smacking the ball that hard on target. Yeah. Gabriel, I don't have my. I do need to set up mods. I do need to do that. I will try and get on that, people. I will. Robert Hall. Roberts could be great and fulfill his potential at 25, but we can't keep playing him to get to that point. This is what loans are for. Yeah, and that's what I said. I said I was very consistent with it last season. I said he should have gone on loan last season, and he should have gone on loan this season. But I think we're past that now, where it comes to the point where some people just don't want to see him back now. So yeah, but listen, I'm going to just move on now to the Kalvin Phillips report that's come out today. In fact, I got that journalist blocked who created that report, but it's valid in saying, because Manchester United fans are already talking like Kalvin Phillips is going, and there's Leeds fans that are worried. But people, this is what's going to happen. Kalvin Phillips' stock is super high. Like, I know we're Leeds United. I know he's a Leeds United fan, etc., etc. But he's an England regular. It's not like he's just an England international that plays here and there. He's one of Gareth Southgate's go-to players now, and his profile has risen and has grown to the point where people want to see what he can do now in the Champions League or in Europe. So it's not. Don't be surprised when you see these reports. I mean, 60 million, yeah. 60 million is not happening, especially to Manchester United. You've got to, if he's worth, like I've said before, if he's worth 70 million and we sold him to Liverpool, it would be 70 million probably. If it's to Man United, you're looking at 80, 85. You've got to get more from your historical rivals. So it would not be 60 million, not a chance. Philip, listen, Kalvin Phillips would never go to Man United. You just don't know. You can't say that. And I tell you why you can't say that, because it's not like how it used to be where, players wouldn't go to a rival club. If the two clubs are willing to do a deal, that's the first bit you got to get out of the way. But he will have mates now at Man United. He will have the England boys at Man United that will say, come on, man, come over, and you're the missing piece we need. Instead of McTominay and Fred, it's going to be you. You're going to be playing with Pogba. You're going to be playing with me, Rashford, or Sancho, or whoever, Ronaldo. It's not. Sometimes it's not about. It's not about that now. In terms of, I would never go to Man United. It just don't work like that anymore. And it's what will happen is, if that ever did happen, it would be for a huge fee, which then Kalvin Phillips's PR people would then say benefits Leeds United in the long run for getting such a big fee for one player. Listen, yeah, I know, Philip, I hear you. Kalvin grew up hating that team, but once you become a player, it's different. It's business. It's business now. Like, it's about what am I looking at the end of my career? Am I looking at, I'm a one club man with Leeds United, which I'm very proud of, or do I get a couple of medals here and there? That's what you've got to look out for with this now. When you become a player, so many players have said it as well, that they've played for teams that they would never have thought they would play for growing up. But it becomes different when you've got different goals. And if you can get more money at Man United, better prospects of European football, you can't rule it out. But what I'll say is that report, I think they've just plucked it out of thin air, because it's easy for both fans to latch on to. Man United know that they need a player like Kalvin Phillips. We're not in the best of shape now. We're in the bottom three. So we're easy pickings now to get clicks and reply to all those things, give them the interactions they want. So, but what I'm saying is, just don't count out that could happen in the future. It wouldn't surprise me, because Kalvin Phillips, when I think about it, forgetting all the club allegiances, Kalvin Phillips at Man United, that's the missing piece. They should have enough, but Kalvin Phillips would be the missing piece there. Jive, I agree with you, KG. England's mates talk. Beckham did it to Rio too. Yeah, it's different. It's different, man. It's a business. It's a business now. It's not about growing up and I'm not wearing that Man United shirt. Get lost. It's not about that. It's what's best for my career. Disabled. Disabled teams. Have you noticed some Leeds channels haven't done any content lately? KG, well, I'll always be, KG is as honest as they come. I'll always be honest. I don't know what other channels are doing. I'll be honest. I don't know. So, but yeah, I just wanted to come on, football talk, see what everyone's saying, and Let's have a look. Nick Matthews is saying we just need to ensure we have the plan and replacements in place. Hard as it is to say, an ongoing building process until we get level players that want to come to us on our level field. Yeah, obviously, if you was to ever lose a player like him, Melier, Rafinha, you would hope that we'd have somebody in the pipeline. And Nicholas Griffin, I've said that myself. Nicholas too. Liverpool need a Henderson replacement. He'd be perfect for them for what he does as well. Yo saying Kalvin Phillips should hold out for a move abroad. I mean, there's not many teams abroad that can afford him. In all fairness, just trying to think. Maybe Bayern Munich could. That would be pretty sick. But listen, he's still with us. He's still with us. So he's not going anywhere this season. I wouldn't think, because we're not selling him in January. If a player disabled team, if a player is offered 250,000 a week, he will go anywhere. Yeah, I mean, some might point out about Jamie Vardy, who rejected a move to Arsenal. He did reject a move there. They agreed a fee and everything, but he said, "No, I'm staying at Leicester." But Jamie Vardy's different. Now, I cannot put into words how different Jamie Vardy is, but he's just a different kind of guy. This is a guy that scores goals for fun, Premier League legend, does the celebrations at away grounds and riles everybody up. I love that. But he's also a guy that at the peak of his power saw that he wasn't going to be starting for England. He was behind Harry Kane and said, "You know what, I retire." Like, there's not many players like Jamie Vardy around. So, there are instances where people do stay. Solanum brings up Grealish. Grealish loves Aston Villa, absolutely loves them, but he wants to win medals. So Manchester City, and again, Grealish will now be on England duty with Kalvin saying, "Oi, I like playing at Man City. I can win league here." And, he's going to be in his ear and saying, "Well, what are you doing at Leeds?" Trust, if you think that these conversations don't happen, honestly, guys, you must think that these guys just sit around playing cards and talking about their wives and stuff, man. They talk about stuff like this. And that's, and going back to Harry Kane, that's another thing. Harry Kane's on England duty with all these Man City, Man United, and all these other players, Liverpool. And then they're just like, "Oh, look at you just holding up Tottenham." And he's like, "Yeah, but look at the joy he has when he's playing for England compared to Tottenham." That's that. I'll just leave it there. Yeah, Richard Lewis Townsend. Which professional player wouldn't want to play Champions League football? Correct. Russell, I actually find you one of the more realistic YouTubers. You actually call out the club and players if needed. There's nothing wrong with that in my eyes, and doesn't make you less of a fan. No, it doesn't. But thank you. Yeah, yeah. I listen. If anyone does think it makes me less of a fan, that's up to them. I can't control what people are saying. I mean, there was a thing last night where somebody called. I don't even want to say the Twitter account's name, but they're calling out Saeed. If you know who Saeed is, he's a Man United fan, funny guy, just brings you laughter whenever you see him. He's a great guy, and they're calling him out because he's doing a fan cam at the ground where Man United sky the penalty against Villa, and he's giving his reaction. What is wrong with that? If that's how he's a content creator, first of all, he's a fan and a content creator. That's how he's going to get his content out. Is he doing any harm? The thing I've always said about YouTube is, if you don't like what you're seeing, just don't watch. It's just the same for any other TV program or anything else like that. If you're not into it, don't watch it. I've said to people privately, I don't get people that watch or follow things then they've got no interest in, just to bash it. For me, that says more about that person and what they're missing in their lives than it does about the person they're watching. That's just it for me. Yeah, Jason, going back, Jamie Vardy's a mole breaker. Trust me, Jamie Vardy knows. Yeah, Jamie Vardy. People won't appreciate this player until he retires. I guarantee there'll be a whole bunch of compilations about Jamie Vardy when he's retired, and people can be like, "Oh man, he was a good character." They won't. The people won't realize until he's gone. But man, I'll miss him when he's not playing. I really do. Doom United, the KP story is just a distraction. Could be. I just think it adds on to. I just think it adds on to what is going on at both clubs, where one needs a DM, another one is in the bottom three. So it's good, and both Man United and Leeds are great for clicks because you'll always have those fan bases will interact with that story. It's just the way it is. Uh, uh, da, 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 yeah. So yeah, I mean, so that's it with Kalvin Phillips and Leeds United in general right now. I'm going to go on to the next one. Let me just go through. Like I say, people, smash a like if you're watching. If you're watching replay, smash a like. Also, don't get me buried in the YouTube algorithms, as I keep saying, because it does happen. So, right, here we go. Players PR posts. Let's get into that. Yeah. Um, Yeah, one more. Vardy, ooh, Danish friend. Yeah, he's a legend, man. Just characters you need in the game. Uh, and Lee Smith, just one more point on Calvin. He's going through contract talks. So, of course, he'll get linked. It's the game. Absolutely. Agents will put stuff out, makes your current club try and get a deal done even quicker with probably a little bit extra money, too. So, you're right, Lee Smith. But players' PR messages is one I want to talk about because if you've seen the latest one, which was from Bruno Fernandes after he missed a penalty against Aston Villa, he put out a novel on social media where he's saying, I'm sorry, I'm paraphrasing it, I'm sorry, I will do better, blah blah blah, rah rah rah. Like I'm tired of the player PR stuff. And the thing is as well, a lot of players don't handle their own social medias. I don't know if everyone is actually aware of that though. But a lot of players don't handle their own social medias. And one, because it's a headache for them. They don't want to see the negative comments. And two, it's just easier to get a PR team to run it for you. Marcus Rashford doesn't run his own. I would even say Kalvin Phillips don't run his own. I just look at the way Kalvin Phillips has started to tweet, especially since the England call-up, the first one. I don't think that's Kalvin Phillips. I'll be completely honest. I think it is his PR team that put out all the messages after games, but I don't know. I'll ask you guys in the chat here now. Do you like seeing players apologize after games for silly things like missing a penalty? Like these things happen in football. You miss a penalty, you move on. But putting out a post and saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and this and that, and then you've got all the Man United players on Instagram giving it hearts and we love you, all this kind of stuff. It's weird to me. Like it's weird. Like why are you doing that? Why are you apologizing for missing a penalty? If you do something outrageous on the pitch or in your personal life that you feel is something that you've misplaced the trust with the fans, then okay, put out a statement. But for an injury, like when they're injured, oh, Marcus Rashford did one time. His PR team did one where he had to get shoulder surgery. It was a couple months ago, and it's like, why are you doing so much? Get the surgery, heal well, and come back stronger. It's like, what? Yeah, Mr. Tom here, Joe Hart's social media team, job done when losing 3-0 in Europe. And that's where it can backfire. I know, yeah, the Zagreb thing. Tottenham lose 3-0 to Zagreb, and his media team have obviously automated a post thinking that they were going to beat them, and it says job done, even though they lost. Like it's crazy. Like, it's mad. Bobby, a lot of the Leeds players don't handle their social media. You can tell by the posts. Yeah, the posts are too. See, I got to think of the word here now, guys. They're too polished. They're too polished. Yeah, the posts are way too polished for just to be general people in life. You can always tell who does them. Look at Saint Maximin's posts. Alan Saint Maximin's post is him. That is him doing those posts because a PR team wouldn't put that kind of stuff out because they think that Saint Maximin will probably fire them if it goes wrong. That's Saint Maximin putting out those posts, and he puts out some funny stuff. But Yeah, guys, negative stuff gets more attention, rightly or wrongly. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Lee Smith, apologize if you 2 foot a player, okay, but otherwise they'll be apologizing all the time, and that's what I say. I always say with things when, where does it start? Like I said a couple weeks ago or a month ago, whenever it was, about the whole Saka thing, where people are applauding him and cheering him on and treating him like a special needs kid. Like, well done, Saka, for tying your shoelaces correctly. Like, where does it end? Where do you start? Are you going to put a post out for, oh, I'm so sorry, guys, that in the last minute I didn't put it out for a throw and put it out for a corner, and with me conceding the corner, it led to a goal. Like, come on now. Like, you can see it happening though. It sounds ridiculous, but that's the way it's going. Disabled team, totally agree, KG. It's pathetic. Yeah, it's too much. Like, for me, I want to hear from players. I do want to hear from players, but I want to hear from them. I don't want to hear from their PR teams. And for me, when you're on social media, surely that should be your thing. Like, if you're not gonna handle your own social media, then you might as well just have a general website. An old school website where people can go and see what's the haps with you, and your PR team can update that. For me, if you're going on social media, you're hoping you be interacting with that person. Just like when people say about Radrazani, reply to some of the positive tweets and stuff you get, because he gets positive messages, but he only calls out the negative ones. You'd hope that your positive messages are going to the actual person and not their assistant, who isn't going to relay it back to that person. For me, it's just no point. I just don't get it. uh Yeah, Richard, they're too clean. The ones that are handled by PR people, correct. They all follow the same kind of mold as well. They've got the same model, the way they're written. You just read them in your head and you can hear it's not that person. It's not the person you're talking to. And that's why I think about Kalvin Phillips' one as well. It's definitely not Calvin handling his social media. He's got too much to. The thing is with Calvin and his agent and everything else, he's got too much to lose now. He's seen as a model professional on and off the pitch. He's an England international now, England regular. They're going to want to make sure that his nose is clean with everything, and that's why he's probably agreed to have it taken over. Jordan Dix, that better not be a. Don't try and bait me up. I hate it when they have to apologize for missing a penalty or missing a shot or making a mistake. Only apologize if they do something that merits it, like refusing to play or something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anything like that. Like when for Leeds fans in here, when Chris Wood was on his way to Burnley, he put out a post saying he's not going to take part because he doesn't want to get injured on the and jeopardize a move to Burnley. That's completely fine, because that's what fans really want to know. Like, wait a minute, we got our star striker Chris Wood. Why isn't he playing? Oh, there it is. Okay, we can move on. That's what the kind of stuff that you want to see. Stuff like that when Chris Wood was about to move, not because you've bloody misplaced a pass or missed a penalty. Come on, come on now. Just getting some of your yeah, yeah, yeah. Ezra Richarlison's account is funny too. That's what I'm saying. You know when it's the players. You know it's the players. Obviously, Patrice Everett is him because he's always all over his. I love this game. All of that. So for me, just in closing with that whole PR thing, just lay off it, man. Because when you think you're doing something right for that player, you're actually making people feel a bit sick about them. And I saw plenty of my Man United supporting friends were like, "What the hell is this from Bruno Fernandes and his PR team? It's just ridiculous." Yeah. Oh man. Russell just saying, "I tell you what, Brighton equalising late on is good. I didn't want Palace moving any further anymore." Yeah, yeah. The game wasn't even that good. But listen, I've had FPL people. I've brought in Mopay this week. Like, I can see him netting in the next one against Arsenal and then Norwich after the international break. So yeah, I'm on Neil Mopay. I've got him in my FPL team. This the disabled team. I can't remember which manager it was, but he banned footballers from having their phones in the dressing room. I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure Simon Grayson banned the players from having social media because David Summer gave information out about his knee injury. Is that what you're talking about? I think that might be it. He gave information about his knee injury that the club didn't want to disclose, and yeah, Simon Grayson just said, "Nah, that's it now. No one's having social media." I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about. Yeah, there's that too. RB182, too scared of being cancelled. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you. That is probably it more than anything. Like I said with Kalvin, they don't want to say the wrong thing. If they've got control of that social media account and they've maybe had a nice little Saturday night drink, and they come out and say something that is just completely wild, then yeah, it's a good point. Cancel culture is pretty rife. You don't have to do all that much these days that people want to cancel you. So yeah, you're probably right. That's a great point. Cancel culture, absolutely. Yeah, Bobby. I have respect for players like ASM who handle their own socials and interact with fans. Yeah, that's what you want as a fan. You want to interact with those accounts because you want to believe that the person behind it is doing it. Like, I mean, I got reposted on IG by Ja Rule, and I know it was Ja Rule because at the time he put out on a story that he was on a plane, and he was on his phone. So you're thinking, yeah, that is Ja Rule. He's reposted. So it's like, oh, Ja Rule is actually, he may not ever know who I am, but he notices me. He noticed me, and there you go. Like Fred Durst. I put on my latest Instagram post, I was in a Limp Bizkit t-shirt, tag Fred Durst, and he's commented underneath it. For me, that's amazing. And because that is Fred Durst. For me, that's like that's a huge thing. That's what people want from it. Otherwise, you may as well just build a website and just be cold like that. Uh, okay, Jordan Dix. It's not a fake name. I get it all the time. Sorry about it. Yeah, Mr. Tom. That's a quality one from ASM. Steve Bruce can outrun him. See, that's how you know that's not a PR team because they wouldn't have the cojones to post that because they might think that would cause a problem. ASM has posted that one about him being faster than Steve Bruce. Uh, yeah, Jason Lee again with the player thing. Every player is a brand. Yeah, listen, CR7 is the main one, and then you're hearing all these other odd ones. We've probably got TR11 for Tyler Roberts, which just nah. But I hear what you're saying, Mr. Tom. Yeah, when I tell you that clip is a classic, if people don't know what Tom and I talk about here, you can't say Mope without saying Ty's boy Mope. Yeah, yeah. When Neil Mope had that interaction with Arsenal, was it last season or the season before? Whenever it was, and Ty from AFTV goes on an absolute rant about Mope, saying that you're a disgrace and I hope you get relegated. It's one of the funniest YouTube clips in footballing content history, man. It's yeah, Ty's a legend, though, man. I love that guy. Uh, right. Okay. Just yeah, Truthler. I saw that on IG. Fred liking your post. Yeah, man. For me, that's that. It's cool, man. I love that. Right. Okay, right, and okay. I'm almost to the end. Players. Okay, just quickly on the Premier League games possibly being played abroad, and this is great on here because I do have a lot of international viewers as well. So I want to hear your thoughts on it, and also from domestic people as well, because the people that go to games are the ones that goes to games regularly will be affected. Because if you're talking about games being played abroad, just say we'll take our own team, Leeds United, for example. One home game gets played in America, New York, LA, wherever, it doesn't matter. Are you happy with that? Are you happy that the international fans get the chance to see their team perform? Because I'll put it I'll put it in terms from my point of view. As you know, I love ice hockey, NHL, love it. I've been to America and seen my team, Pittsburgh Penguins, play, and it was an absolutely brilliant experience. Like I loved it. And if they ever said that they were coming over to England to where I am and playing a game, I'm going. I'm going to go to that game, and it's going to be a brilliant atmosphere because we don't see it often. Just like wrestling back in the day when they used to come to England once a year, it would be an outstanding atmosphere because we don't get to see it that often. We don't get to see those people often. So for the international fans, them seeing a Premier League game once a year or whatever it would that be something that people would be cool with? So, okay, Russell. No, let's not turn it into the NFL. Yeah, the NFL do have a game at Spurs ground, actually. Yeah. Disabled team supporters pay enough as it is. Yeah. Okay. I hope games don't go abroad. It's hard enough to get a ticket now. That's true. I don't think I'll have a chance to go to a game this season. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. People say it's like the NFL doing a game in England, but the big teams never sacrifice a home game in England. It's always Jacksonville, etc. I hear you. I hear you. At least, geez, I'm lucky to get one game living in England. Okay, I hear that. All right. Harmony, moronic idea. Whoops. We do that in the summer break, go abroad to sell our brand to other nations and attract overseas fans. Okay, yeah. Robert Hall, it's good for reputation, but no, it's a Leeds team. That's where they play. Okay, okay. All right. I mean, that's fair enough. I can see both sides of it. I can. I just look at it from my point of view, loving international sports. And if they ever got the chance to come over here, then I would be there in a heartbeat. But what you say about cost and everything, I do believe that the clubs will probably lower the ticket price because they know that that money that they be getting internationally will just supersede anything that ticket would have given. So yeah, I mean, Chufla. Hold on, Robert Hall says it'd be a cool idea for a holiday, though. Absolutely. Chufla, speaking from someone that's from Australia, it would be great to ever get a chance to watch Leeds. They came here a couple of years ago pre-season. Doubt they will be back anytime soon. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, there is that. There is that. Just stick to friendlies and things like that. Yeah, I think as long as you get to see the team, I think you'd be happy, right? Does it have to be a competitive game? Chufla, I'll speak to you as you're in Australia. Does it have to be a competitive game, or would you just be happy with friendlies? So, Ezra H. I know fans from England won't like it, but I would love it. I've never seen my club live. Okay, shout. Ezra is not based in England. He would love it. I hear that. And would you be all right with it just being a friendly, or would you want a competitive game? Because there is a difference between the two. We can't pretend there isn't. Russell, can't see it happening until the pandemic is actually finished, whenever that may be. Yeah. Tashan Rechner, Tashan Rechner, Tashan Rechner 85. I'm all for preseason tournaments, though. Yeah, yeah. Robert Hall, think taking it abroad for competitive games would make it less competitive. England football is a different breed. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you okay, and CS Stone, shout out to you, man. As an American, I'd be happy with friendlies. Fair enough. Fair enough. And I'll say that as well. In the NHL crowd, you don't get sectioned off. Like I was a Pittsburgh Penguins fan with my Pittsburgh Penguins jersey on at the New Jersey arena in just amongst a bunch of New Jersey Devils fans. Like there is no separation, and I don't know how they do it there. I really don't know how they do it, but it was a great atmosphere and there was no trouble. You know, we beat them 6-1 that day. Actually, it was a really good game, and they just took it in good spirits. I don't know if you could do that with England in football. Can you imagine doing that? It was bad enough. The Leeds and West Ham fans the other day, they almost got into it, but yeah, yes. John B, don't worry about it. Just watch the replay. We're almost done now. Almost in an hour. Jesus Christ. You guys, man. Now this is me. I'm doing all the talking, but now we're almost an hour in. Sorry you missed the show, but just catch the replay. But Jordan Dick saying it will happen eventually. Grow the Premier League brand. Yeah, yeah. I was just putting it out there. See how you guys feel about it. And again, if you're watching the replay, please leave your comments if you agree with it. If you're from abroad, would you like it? And please make it clear if you don't mind it being a friendly or a competitive game. So. Sea Stone. I live a few miles from the Devils Arena. Were there more Penguins fans than Devils fans there? No, there was a healthy amount of Penguins fan. I think there was like five of us in a row, and then the rest of the row was all Devils. Like the rest of the section was all Devils fans. Like it was great. And each time I didn't know any of these people, and we're just all high fiving each other after each goal goes in. Outside of the arena afterwards, Devils fans just like great game, and boo, and then just like laughing and in a jovial way. Yeah, it was a great atmosphere. Great atmosphere. Uh, okay, Harmony, great point. I don't know how to say that one. I follow Gardens. We'll go with that. From Sweden. I don't expect them to play in England to make me happy. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. So yeah, people. I think I've got one more topic. Southampton. I just want to quickly touch on Southampton because, guys, when we're in the bottom three, and as soon as that happened, Talksport and all these other places wanted to talk about Leeds United. Do we need to change it, etc., etc.? All of this, as expected, because we're Leeds United and we do generate lots of interactions. I get it. Newcastle United constantly bashed and all that big fan base that will always interact. We get it. But listen, Southampton, yeah. And I'm just saying it out there. I'm just putting it out there because I don't feel that they're getting the love they deserve. Because listen, they're stinking out the joint. I believe these are real stats. If they're not, I'm not the stat man. But they've had in their last 10 away games, 7 defeats, 2 draws, 1 win. 31 games, 7 wins, 17 defeats, 7 draws. That's 5 wins in 2021. Yeah. Southampton have taken the least amount of points since January 2021, 16. I just don't feel that's being talked about enough. So I'm talking about it here. So hopefully other people pick it up and talk about it, because I tell you, there's certain clubs that would not be able to get away with that. And that's the benefit of when you don't support like a crazy supported club. Like if we was putting up those numbers this season, the channels, Talksport, all the others, they wouldn't shut up about it. They would be on us like you would not believe. It would be crazy, all the headlines that would be coming out. I just feel like that Southampton stat has kind of slipped under the radar. So I wanted to mention it on my channel to let them know they're not forgotten. I look out for all these teams, man. So, but yeah, it's mad. It is mad. Like Southampton are really playing bad. And yeah, listen, Russell is saying here, when I watched Southampton at the weekend, I was surprised at how many seats were empty. They aren't mentioned enough as much because it's Southampton. Exactly. Like if they bring up Southampton on a Talksport thing, it's not going to generate much. Not as much as it does when they mention Newcastle, West Ham, Leeds, Arsenal, all these other clubs that just got rabid fan bases. They won't care. So they just don't bring it up. Let me see. Yeah, Mr. Tom, I'd just like to state we only need 3 teams worse than us. Saints only get discussed about when the 9-0s happen and people move on. Yeah. Yeah, imagine that though. People love talking about our defense and everything, but we've never conceded 9 in a game. But nothing gets talked about because they like Hassan Hool. They think he's a good coach and everything else like that. Well, the results aren't saying it. But at the moment, Bielsa's getting all kinds of questions because we're not getting the results. But you're always going to hear about it because we are who we are. Mm, disabled team: Norwich, Southampton, Newcastle, 3 for getting relegated. It's not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. Bjorn Odegaard, much improved performance on Saturday. I think keep that up and we'll be okay. If not, I might start to worry soon. Yeah, Bjorn, I'm with you. We'll get 3 points against Watford if we don't come back here for some therapy, because I'll need therapy too. Uh, yeah. RB 182. It went bad for them since Hassan who cried after beating Liverpool. I mean, come on, that was, again, that was perfect. How extra was that? How how extra is that? Like, it was just too much. Um, saying that. Uh, Mr. Tom, there are people who just irrationally dislike Bielsa. It's strange, but not surprising. Yeah, and a few of them, it's because he's not speaking English, and there's reasons for that why they dislike that, but we won't get into that here. Now, see, Russell, I hear what you're saying. Russell saying, I like Southampton. They're a non-threatening family team who cause no problems at the party and don't get drunk, if you see what I mean. I get it. And that's why they don't get really spoken about in a negative term. But that form this season, this year stinks. It stinks. But there's another comment I just want to go up to. Jason here, let them hate us. Yeah, what I'm noticing, if and I don't know if anyone else noticed after the Brentford and Liverpool game, is that we are no longer everyone's second favorite team, and I cannot be happier about that. People, like, I was getting actually sick of everyone saying how much they love Leeds, the way we play, blah blah blah. Brentford seem to have taken that trophy now, and now everyone loves to watch Brentford. Everyone's impressed with Brentford and what they're doing. Lada lada lada, blah blah blah. But I'm really happy for it, because I was actually hating the fact that so many people were warming to Leeds United. I don't like that. For some reason, I don't like it. So yeah, I'm very happy for Brentford. They're doing well, but yeah, good luck to them. Except for when they play us, of course. Yeah, Jordan. It's because it goes against what promoted lower teams should play like. Are we talking Brentford? Yeah, yeah, they are playing differently, but I think they've got many similarities to Sheffield United personally. So I think that if they had pretty much the same team next season, I don't think it would go just as well. So I, but we can't just go flying past this season. They're doing well so far, but let's just see how they go around Christmas, etc. When things start to really, heat up. Yeah, Mr. Tom, we were never anyone's second favorite team. It was disingenuous at the time, and I'm glad the status quo has resumed. I think we were to some. I do think others were just using it just to get easy likes. Because again, whenever people praise Leeds United fans love to just like it and say, "Oh, I respect you, marching on together." There are fans like that, so they know what they're doing when they do that. As much as some people like to talk negatively about us, there was others that like to say something positive because they want easy likes and everything else like that. So I hear you. But yeah, listen, people. Okay, hold on. KG, do you believe in the term second season syndrome? I do. I don't know if that's the thing with us right now. I think we'll know in the next 4 games. I think we'll really know then. But yeah, there definitely is a second season syndrome, because when you get promoted, you've got that natural adrenaline of you can't believe you're in the Prem. The games that you're playing, the games that you really want to play, you you just like, you're hungry for it. You're enjoying yourself, and then you've done it. So that the first season's gone, the second season comes in. There's that adrenaline wears off. It's just another fixture now, and it does happen to some people. It does. But we just got to make sure that it doesn't happen to us, and it won't. We're not getting relegated. So, but yeah, second season syndrome is something, but there's always factors to it. Yeah, Chris Baldwin. Just quickly, we are paying for not strengthening the summer. Yeah, we are. We are. Yeah, but yeah, people. I've got an hour and 10. I think I've covered everything I was supposed to. Just let me just check my notes. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I've gone through everything. Listen, people that have joined me live, thank you so much for joining me on this early day stream. Enjoy the Champions League games later. It's gonna be great later. I'm really looking forward to the PSG Man City game. And if you're watching the replay, give me your thoughts on anything I've discussed here. Always good to see your comments in the comment section. And yeah, that's it from me, people. And I'll see you the next time. Peace out.